On the assumptions we made in the previous class, okay, yeah, people derived some relations. That means you covered this content in your lower classes. I think all of you know that one equation is there. P is equal to, or PV is equal to, you may take, okay, P is equal to 1 by third 1 by third rho V square. What is V square bar average? Okay, what is this? This is the mean squared speed. We call this V square as a V bar square as a mean squared speed, where it is given by where rho. What is the meaning of this rho bar square? V1 square. Okay, we are squaring and adding the velocities of all the n gas molecules. Suppose that V1, suppose that first molecule is having V1 velocity, suppose that second molecule is having V2 velocity. Then what we are doing, we are making squares of all these velocities and adding them together, and we are dividing that sum with the number of molecules. Okay, this in statistics, sum of the parameters by the number of the parameters, sum of the variables by the total number of variables. You call this as the mean. Okay, now this is the mean of the squared velocities, mean of the squared velocities. That's why we call this V bar square as the mean square speed. Mean square speed, this is mean. V bar is mean. Okay, V bar square is mean square. V bar is a mean square velocity. So mean square velocity is given by the sum of the squares of the velocities of the all molecules by the number of molecules. What is rho here? V bar square is this thing, and rho is equal to, rho is the density, means mass. Density means mass by, you know the definition, volume. Mass by volume. How to calculate the mass of the gas? Why? Because you are having so many empty space. There is a lot of empty space in any gas container. So you have to calculate, you have to consider the mass of each molecule. How many molecules are here? N molecules are here. Suppose that each molecule is having, okay, m grams of mass, then what will be the total mass of the gas? This is capital M, this is small m. Capital M means total mass of the gas. That is equal to mass of the each gas molecule into number of gas molecules, mn by v. Okay, this is what the rho here. Okay, density of the gas. Right, we are taking this directly. This, we are not going to derive this equation. You just remember this equation. Okay, so according to the kinetic theory, pressure of an ideal gas is given by 1 by third rho V bar square. Rho V bar square. Okay, right. Now you may express this as a, this pressure as a function of kinetic energy. Function of kinetic energy. See how you can easily express this P, express equation for P in terms of kinetic energy. What is the expression for kinetic energy? Kinetic energy, K is equal to, you know that, half mv square. Okay, here you see here rho means m by v. mv square is already there now. mv square is already there, but by v. Okay, by v. So you may simply, okay, but here you are not having 1 by 2. Suppose that you want to write 1 by 2 here. Then what you have to do? You have to write 2 here also. you may cancel now this 2 and this 2, again you are going to get 1 by 3 rho V bar square. So I am rewriting this equation. So you are having now 2 by 3 into what is this half rho V square? This is the kinetic energy, Ke. This is what the kinetic energy. Okay, average kinetic energy of the gas. So you may express P, pressure of the gas, in terms of the average kinetic energy of the gas. Okay, right. So what is if you want to express this in terms of words, then what you have to say? Pressure is 2/3 of the uh, total kinetic energy of the molecules. What is this? This is the total kinetic energy of the molecules. Here we are having V, m by V is there na. That's why this is the total kinetic energy of all gas molecules which are there in the unit volume. Which are there in the unit volume. Okay, this is what the statement of this equation. The pressure of an ideal gas is equal to 2/3 of the total kinetic energy of the gas per unit volume. Per unit volume. See, now we want to give the um, kinetic interpretation of the temperature. You know that temperature is a parameter which is studied in thermodynamics. Now we want to, actually our intention of introducing kinetic theory of gas is to explain all the properties of an ideal gas. See, temperature is also a property. We have to correlate this temperature with this kinetic theory. How to correlate this? See, what is average kinetic energy of the gas? Average kinetic energy of the gas is half m v bar square. See, according to the kinetic theory, okay, this average kinetic energy will be directly proportional to the temperature. Directly proportional to the temperature. See how it is possible. All of you might have seen that whenever you pump air into a cycle tube, what happens? Gradually the temperature of the tube increases. Why? Because you are increasing the kinetic energy of the molecules of the gas inside of that tube. Okay, there you may verify this equation. Okay, so average kinetic energy is directly proportional to the temperature. As you pump more and more until it bursts, then what happens? Before it bursts, it might have heated up. Okay, that heating up of the tube is directly proportional to the pumping of the gas. That means by pumping the air, you are increasing the average kinetic energy of the gas inside of that tube. So, according to the kinetic theory, this average kinetic energy is directly proportional to the temperature. Whenever you remove this proportionality sign, here we are going to introduce some constant k here. This is the proportionality constant. Okay, without loss of generality, I am also writing 3 by 2 here. So what is our proportionality constant now? 3 by 2. On this side, what you are having? Average kinetic energy, say Ke bar. Okay, Ke bar is equal to now 3 by 2 Kt. I think all of you are familiar with K. What is K? Some people call this as the K foot B. What is this constant? Where Kb is called as, come on, tell me, what is this constant? Boltzmann's constant. I think you know the value of this Boltzmann constant. Okay, here I am writing the value of this Kb. Okay, You have to remember this value in order to do the problems. Sometimes this KB may be given in the examination itself, in the question paper itself, then it is no problem. But whenever it is not provided, you have to use this value. 1.38 into 10 to the power of 10 to the power of minus 23 joules per mole Kelvin. What are the units of this KB? Joules per mole Kelvin. What is the value of this KB? Boltzmann constant 1.38 into 10 power minus 23. Okay. Actually, what is K? Actually, what is how to define this K? This KB is nothing but this KB is equal to actually what is R by N. You know these two constant. Otherwise, some people call this as NA, N foot A. See, what is R? Whenever you write these two constants values, then you are going to get 1.38 into 10 power minus 23. What is this actually? This is what the formula for KB, definition for the KB. R is a universal gas constant. Okay, Na is the Avogadro number. All of you know that. Whenever you divide these two values, then you are going to get 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 for this KB. Okay, right. Now, you may ask me one question. Sir, what happens to the kinetic energy of the gas if I put the tube inside okay, a cooling setup inside the refrigerator, where you are suppose that you are providing absolute zero temperature. You are able to get the absolute zero temperature. Whenever you put, if T is equal to 0, then what happens according to this formula? K bar will be 3 by 2 KB into 0. That means how much is the average kinetic energy now? 0. See how to express this in words. See, at the absolute zero temperature, okay, all the molecular motions become ceased. That means they cannot move. That's why the average kinetic energy, you are getting average kinetic energy is equal to 0. All the molecular motions become freezed. Okay, at absolute temperature. Okay, right. That means you have 0 kinetic energy, but this applies to only classical gases. Okay, you are not so far you are not studied the modern physics in degree, but whenever you consider the quantum system, then this statement will be the wrong. Even at the even in the ground state, the system may be having some energy, but that is a different thing. You are going to study all these things in your final year. Okay. So as far as this paper is concerned, whenever you make absolute temperature 0, whenever you put the gas at the absolute 0 temperature, see, all the molecules become immobile. They cannot move at all. According to our assumptions of kinetic theory, we assumed that all the molecules are always moving here and there. But whenever you cool the gas up to absolute 0, no molecule will move. Okay, every molecule will be staying there only. Molecules does not move at all. They become immobile. Okay, this is what the conclusion of the kinetic theory. Right. Now we are going to study our main topic, which is important for long answer type question. What is that? Maxwell's speed distribution law. Maxwell's speed distribution law. Actually, what is this speed distribution? You are familiar with the speed distribution or the price distribution. So for that is for you, but for the gas molecules, speed distribution will be there. Speed or velocity. Okay, what is our next topic? Maxwell's speed distribution law. Speed distribution law. Okay. Yeah, before going to this, you are already familiar with this concept, this law of equipartition of energy. I think you know this law of equipartition of energy. What is this law of equipartition of energy? Yeah, the total energy. See, you are considering a gaseous system, a gas inside the cylinder. All the molecules are moving. That means the entire gas is having some internal energy. But how this internal energy is distributed? See, this internal energy is equally distributed, distributed for each degree of freedom. See, molecule is moving randomly. That means that molecule is having x component of velocity, y component of velocity, and z component of velocity. For the motion along each axis, this energy will be equally distributed. See, the molecule is moving at most in three directions, okay, in the cylinder. See, but what is the total kinetic energy of that total kinetic energy per molecule? 3 by 2 kT. Total kinetic energy available is 3 by 2 kT. This 3 by 2 kT will be equally distributed for the motion along x-axis, for the motion along y-axis, and for the motion along z-axis. That means, say, you may write half mvx square, half mvy square, half mvz square. Now my question is, see, you may distribute this 3 by 2 kT into three parts in so many ways. But what the equipartition theorem says, law of equipartition of energy says, you have to distribute the total energy equally among these three motions. That is, motion along x-axis, motion along y-axis, and motion along z-axis. That means this half mvx square will be half kbt. This will be half kbt. This half mvy square will be half kbt. This half mvz square will be half kbt. Now you try to add these three things up. What happens? 1 by 2 kbt plus 1 by 2 kbt plus 1 by 2 kbt. Okay. What is the sum of 3 1 by 2's? 3 by 2. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is 1. 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2 kbt. Okay. So this is what the law of equipartition of energy. Okay. Yeah. Now let us enter into our main topic, Maxwell's speed distribution law. Why it is called as Maxwell's speed distribution law? See, the law for the speed distribution was given for the first time by the scientist named Maxwell. Okay. Yeah. The proof for this was given by the Boltzmann, or his distribution, Boltzmann's distribution. So actually this is called as this speed distribution is called as the Maxwell-Boltzmann speed distribution law. People also call this as a Maxwell-Boltzmann speed distribution. People also call this as a Maxwell dash Boltzmann speed distribution law. Okay, people also call this as a Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution or the speed distribution. Maxwell-Boltzmann speed distribution law. Okay. Why it is named like this? Why? Because each scientist is having his share in this distribution. Okay, actually, Maxwell wrote the formula for this velocity distribution, but the proof was given by the Maxwell's theory. That's why this is called as the Maxwell-Boltzmann speed distribution law. This is purely a law based on the classical physics or the traditional physics. Okay, in quantum physics we are going to have some other distributions, that is different thing. We are not going to bother about those distributions now. Yeah, it looks somewhat lengthy, but it is not that much difficult to follow. Okay, in order to derive the distribution law, this Maxwell and Boltzmann made certain assumptions. Okay, now we are going to study what are the assumptions, okay, in deriving this speed distribution law. Okay, now I am erasing this heading. Now here we are going to study the assumptions. The derivation follows these assumptions. Okay, assumptions. What are the main assumptions? Assumptions of this Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Yeah, these are very simple. See, number one. See, you know that you are considering a system of an ideal gas. You are taking some ideal gas in some container. What happens? All the molecules move here and there. Always they keep moving. Okay. So in that process, what happens? They collide with each other as well as the walls of the container. So what happens? Energy exchange takes place. That means in one collision, a molecule may be losing energy, but that energy will be taken up by the other molecule. So in this way, you are expecting the molecules to have all possible velocities starting from 0 to infinity. Okay, what is first assumption? Gas consists molecules with all possible velocities. What are the possible velocities? 0 to infinity. Okay, if you pick up each and every molecule, then you are going to get all the numbers from 0 to infinity. Next, what is the second assumption? Okay, here there are so many assumptions. Now we are going for the next assumption. See, whenever the gas is in equilibrium, we are expecting that the gas is distributing equally among the container. That means average density will be same. Average density will be same everywhere. Average density will be same. Yeah. Now, what is the second assumption? Equilibrium mass density. That means distribution of mass. Okay, average density. We call that as average density. Okay, what is the second assumption? Average density of gas is same, it is not always, is same when gas is in equilibrium. Gas is in equilibrium. After a long time, what happens? System reaches to an equilibrium stage. In that stage, you will see the equal number of molecules at each nook and corner of the container. That is what average density is same. Okay. Next, third assumption. We are going to study the next assumption. See, what is the first assumption? Molecules are going to have all possible velocities. Next, what is the second assumption? Average density is same across the all corners of the container. Okay. Next, third assumption. Third assumption. See, you are having the gas molecules with all possible velocities. Okay, but suppose that you want to check how many molecules are having the velocities between a meters per second, 10 meters per second to 20 meters per second. Then this number is definite or not? This number will be definite. You are going to have some definite number of molecules in between these speed limit. You may ask one question, sir, why the molecular velocities are continuously changing. Okay, but still what I am saying is, whenever you want to observe the molecules whose velocities are in some particular velocity range, that number should be the constant. Why? Because there are large number of molecules, innumerable collisions are taking place. So whenever you observe the gas, you always find some fixed number of gas molecules in some fixed velocity limit. Okay, right. Here speeds are innumerable, but see, speeds laying in speeds, okay, laying in particular, okay, interval r, okay, are definite. You are going to find some definite number of molecules for each and every velocity range. Okay, every time if you want to observe the how many molecules are there in this speed limit, say from 10 meters per second to 20 meters per second, you always find some fixed number of molecules in this velocity range. Okay, this applies to all velocity ranges, whichever you may assume. Okay, next we are going to study the next assumption. Yeah, this assumption talks about the probability. Okay, what is the probability that any one molecule, okay, is having its velocity in some velocity range? You are picking one molecule randomly, okay, then you are finding the probability that that molecule's velocity may be in some particular velocity range. That depends upon, that probability depends upon, yeah, depends upon velocity as well as velocity of the molecule as well as the limits. Okay, it is a very simple thing. The probability uh, of Okay, the probability of any molecule, okay, laying in particular velocity range, particular uh, velocity range or velocity limit is a function of, that means it depends upon velocity of the molecule and the particular range or the limit, and velocity limit, velocity limit. Okay, it depends upon that velocity limit and its velocity. Okay, this is another assumption. Yeah, this applies for any one molecules you are picking randomly from the container. Okay, you are checking for its velocity range, whether these molecules velocity falls under this velocity range or not. That depends upon molecules velocity and that velocity limit under consideration. Okay, then only it will stay in that velocity range. Okay, next next assumption and final assumption, fifth assumption is, see, whenever a molecule moves randomly, that means it is not moving either along x-axis or along y-axis or along z-axis, it is moving randomly. Then how many components you have for that molecule? You have x component, you have y component, you have z component of velocities. See, what is our assumption here? All those components of velocities are independent of each other. All components, all components of velocity are independent of each other. What is the meaning of this? Vx does not influence the Vy and Vy does not influence the Vz. They are independent. This is our final assumption. Based on these assumptions, now we are going to derive the distribution law, velocity distribution law. Okay.